I decided to support my husband every week. He always drives to his parents' house to help with household chores and bring them my homemade jam. One day, I wanted to surprise him by delivering the food myself without telling anyone. However, as I approached the house, I froze in shock when I saw Anna. Anna cherishes the predictability and order in her life. She finds comfort in a quiet place, sheltered from the storms of the outside world. Her apartment reflected her personality, with bookshelves filled with literary classics and the aroma of freshly baked bread, showing her love for harmony and structure. She taught literature at a university, immersed in the world of Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, always searching for answers to life's eternal questions through their works. Igor, her husband, was the complete opposite of Anna. As an engineer, Igor lives in a world of technical drawings and calculations. However, these differences do not separate them but complement each other. Anna appreciates Igor's reliability, his ability to solve problems, and his quiet, genuine care. In turn, Igor admires Anna's intelligence, her refined aesthetic sense, and her ability to find happiness in simple things. Every Sunday, Igor drives to the village where his parents live. This is an unspoken ritual in their lives. Igor helps with chores, fixes the fence, and tends to the garden. Anna always prepares a bag filled with food, jars of homemade pickles, soup, meat slices, and pie. She knows Igor's parents love her cooking, and it brings her joy to do something nice for them. Igor always returns home in the evening, a little tired but happy. He talks about his parents, village gossip, and the weather. Anna listens attentively, nodding and asking light questions. These Sunday trips are like a brief visit to another world for them, quiet, peaceful, and full of simplicity. Lately, Anna had noticed a change in her husband. Igor seemed busy, but not because he was neglecting her. He still brought her coffee in the morning, asked about her day, and read her poetry before bed. However, there was a shadow in his eyes, something he never spoke of. Igor often stared out the window as if waiting for something or someone. Anna thought it was because of fatigue or pressure from his work. Igor is working on an important project that Anna knows is very demanding. Therefore, Anna tries to surround him with love and attention, hoping to help him get through this difficult time. One Saturday morning, Anna woke up with a strange feeling, wanting to surprise Igor. She decided to drive to her husband's parents' house without telling anyone. Anna wanted to see them, get some fresh air, and escape the hustle and bustle of the city while Igor was busy at work. She got out of bed, went to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and took out the jars of pickles she had made the week before. She took them, put them on the table, and started packing her bag. She added some apple pies, candies, and homemade sausages. She knew Igor's parents loved these snacks. They always enjoyed her visits, praised her cooking, and asked about her work. Anna imagined their surprised and happy faces when they arrived. She smiled, loving the idea of surprising them and seeing the joy in their eyes. After putting on comfortable jeans and a warm jacket, she glanced out the window. The weather looked sunny but cool. She decided to wear a scarf. Once she was ready, she grabbed the bag of food and her car keys, then left the house. Their old Niva was parked right in front of the door. Anna opened the trunk and carefully put the bag inside, making sure nothing broke. When she was done, she sat behind the wheel and started the engine. The engine roared to life, and Niva drove away from the city toward the village via the highway. She drove calmly without rushing, enjoying the scenery outside. Fields, forests, rivers, everything looked so beautiful and peaceful to her. The trip to the village usually took about 2 hours. Anna turned on the radio, singing along to the songs playing, feeling happy and free throughout the journey. She imagined the surprise she would give Igor's parents later, picturing their happy faces and the praise she would receive for the food she had brought. Memories of the warm conversations and jokes they often shared during Sunday lunches several years ago came flooding back. These trips had always been an important part of their family life, a small ritual that strengthened the bonds between generations. Anna continued driving down the familiar road, enjoying the charming autumn scenery. The trees were dressed in gold, the sunlight filtering through the leaves, creating beautiful patterns on the asphalt. Anna switched the radio to soft classical music, creating a calm and peaceful atmosphere. She felt that today would be a special day, full of warmth and love. However, she never imagined the emotional storm that awaited her. Her heart began to race as she approached the village. Anna turned onto the dirt road leading to Igor's parents' house. Although she hadn't visited in a long time, she immediately recognized the house, a small wooden cottage with carved windows and a garden filled with flowers. She parked the car near the gate and got out, her heart full of hope for a joyful reunion. However, the sight that greeted her made her freeze in her tracks. On the porch of the house, Igor was standing with a strange woman in his arms, accompanied by a boy who looked to be about 5 years old. Igor was talking to the woman, who smiled warmly at him. This was no ordinary meeting. There was something much deeper: intimacy, warmth, and tenderness in their interaction. Something Anna hadn't seen in her husband's eyes for a long time. Anna felt the ground beneath her feet crumble, her head spin, her vision begin to darken. She tried to step forward to call out to Igor, but her voice caught in her throat. She stood stiffly in disbelief. The boy then ran towards Igor, hugged his legs, and said something while looking up at him. Igor bent down and hugged the boy back, speaking softly and stroking his hair affectionately. It was then that Anna realized the love and tenderness in Igor's eyes, an expression she had never seen directed at her before. Anna gathered all her strength to create a story. She said she was interested in the local architecture and the old houses in the village. The story sounded ridiculous and absurd, but this time she didn't try to hide it. She parked her car on the side of the road, took a deep breath, and walked toward the house. Her heart was beating so fast, it seemed as if the whole street could hear it. At the gate stood a woman, Elena, whom she had seen with Igor. "Hello," Anna said softly, trying to keep her voice steady. "I heard you have a very interesting house." Elena looked at her closely. There was no hatred or surprise in the woman's gaze, only calm exhaustion. "Come in," she said, opening the gate. "I'm Elena." Anna gave a fake name, Irina. They entered the clean and simple house, which smelled of fresh bread mixed with a scent of baby milk. In the corner of the room, a little boy was playing alone. "Sasha. This is Sasha," Elena introduced the boy. Sasha looked at Anna with curiosity but didn't approach. "Nice to meet you," Anna said softly, trying not to stare at the child too intensely. They sat at the kitchen table. Elena offered tea and Anna accepted. In silence, Elena poured boiling water into the cups. Anna observed Elena. There was nothing special about her. She was an ordinary woman who looked tired but had a gentle gaze. She was not a seductress or a homewrecker, just a mother. "Have you lived here long?" Anna asked, trying to keep the conversation going. "Several years," Elena replied. Anna hesitated for a moment, then asked quietly, "And Igor, does he come here often?" Elena looked at her in surprise. "How do you know?" Anna fell silent for a moment. "I saw you with him a few days ago. I'm his wife." The room suddenly felt silent. Elena looked at Anna with an oddly understanding expression. "I understand," she said finally. "Igor never told you about us." Anna shook her head slowly. "I didn't know anything." Silence once again enveloped the room, broken only by the soft ticking of the wall clock. Anna felt as though she were facing an exam where the questions had been asked and her future depended on the answers she would give. "Why?" Anna asked, finally breaking the silence. "Why didn't he ever tell me anything about you?" "You should ask him yourself," Elena replied calmly. "But I think he's afraid. Afraid of losing you." "And you?" Anna asked slowly. "Do you love him?" Elena smiled sadly. "I once loved him deeply. But that was a long time ago. Now we only share responsibility for Sasha, nothing more. Igor came here as a father, as a friend, but not as a partner. There's nothing between us anymore." Anna wasn't sure if she should believe Elena, but the woman's voice sounded so honest that Anna's doubts felt unfounded. "He loves Sasha more than his own life," Elena added, looking at her son. He's an amazing father, always caring, always ready to help. Sasha admires him so much. Anna looked at the little boy, who was now playing with toy cars and humming softly. Sasha suddenly looked up, staring at Anna without any fear or hatred in his eyes. Only curiosity. Anna smiled at the child, and Sasha responded with a shy smile. Igor, Anna spoke again. Is he happy? Elena sighed softly. I don't know. It's hard for him. He's torn between two lives. He wants to be honest, but he can't. He's afraid of hurting you, and he's afraid of losing Sasha. Anna paused before whispering. And what about me? Does he ever think about how much this hurts me? Of course he thinks about it, Elena replied calmly. But he hopes you never find out the truth. He believes he can keep it safe. Anna smiled bitterly, murmuring softly. How naive. Maybe, but he didn't do it with bad intentions. He's just trying to do what's right for everyone, Elena said softly. Anna stared at her, then asked bitterly. Is it really okay to lie for years to hide the truth? To live two lives at once? Is that right, or is it just cowardly? Why are you telling me all this? Anna continued, staring into Elena's eyes. Elena took a deep breath before answering. Because I saw you were hurting, and I wanted you to know the truth. Igor is a good man. He doesn't deserve to be hated. He just got lost. Are you afraid I'll take him away from you? Anna asked softly. Elena shook her head calmly. No. I know you wouldn't do that. And even if you did, I wouldn't force him to stay. What matters most to me is Sasha's happiness. The rest will follow on its own. Anna remained silent for a long time. Could happiness truly be built on lies? She didn't know. She felt two conflicting emotions battling within her. Anger and understanding, hurt and forgiveness. Thank you, Anna finally said as she stood up. Thank you for the tea and for your honesty. You're welcome, Elena replied softly. If you ever want to talk, I'm always here. Anna left the house feeling uneasy. Outside, the air was fresh and the sun was shining brightly, but her heart remained dark and filled with anxiety. She got into her car and drove home immediately. She needed time to think, to decide what steps to take next. When she arrived home, Igor was waiting. He sat on the sofa with his head bowed in anxiety. When he saw Anna enter, Igor immediately stood up with a look of hope and fear in his eyes. Where have you been? He asked slowly. I was with Elena, Anna replied calmly. Igor was silent, but he did not try to argue or deny it. That night, Igor spoke at length. His words broken as if he were trying hard to justify himself. He told her about Elena, about their brief relationship before he met Anna, about Sasha's birth, about how he couldn't just leave his child, and about his great fear of losing Anna if his secret was revealed. I know I've been terrible, Igor said softly. His head bowed in remorse. I lied to you, but I didn't see any other way. I didn't want to hurt you, Anna. I swear I never stopped loving you. Anna was silent, searching for the truth in her husband's eyes. She could clearly see the remorse, the pain, but also his unwavering determination. Igor had made his choice, not only for himself, but for the lives of others as well. That night passed in painful silence. They lay on their respective sides of the bed, separated by a deep chasm. Anna couldn't sleep, her mind spinning with unspoken words, fragments of memories, and hopes that now felt so fragile. She recalled their life together, the love that had once been so strong, and all the future plans they had built together. Now everything felt foreign, shattered in an instant by a single painful moment. Anna wasn't sure what she was feeling now. Anger, heartbreak, disappointment, or something far more complex and profound. That morning, Igor left for work early, leaving Anna alone in the house. Anna wandered around the apartment like a lost ghost. Everything around her now felt foreign and unfamiliar. Even the classic books she had loved so deeply felt fake and full of hypocrisy. Anna stood by the window for a long time, staring outside. The world kept turning as if nothing had happened. People rushed to work, children played cheerfully in the yard, Birds chirped merrily in the trees, but her life had been destroyed in an instant. She remembered Elena's words about Igor being a good father, about how attentive he was in caring for Sasha, and her clear statement that there was no relationship between them other than their responsibility for their child. Anna took a deep breath, wondering if there was a way out of this complicated situation, or if she had to learn to accept the bitter truth that the life she thought was perfect was built on lies. Anna wasn't sure if she should trust Elena, but there was something in the woman's voice and gaze that suggested honesty. Anna knew she needed time to think, to make a decision that couldn't be made in haste. She couldn't just forgive Igor, but she also couldn't leave him like that. They had been through too much together. She had invested too much of herself in this relationship. The next day, Anna told Igor that she needed to leave. She needed time alone to think things through. Igor didn't try to stop her. He understood. Anna had every right to do so. Anna went to another village, not to Igor's parents' house, but to an old house she owned. She spent several days there, walking in the woods, reading books, and reflecting on her entire life. She remembered their first meeting, their wedding day, the quiet, trusting early years. Everything had seemed so good, so reliable. Could it all have been a lie? Had Igor been leading a double life all this time? Anna found it hard to believe. Igor had always seemed like an honest and caring man. How could he do this to her? However, Anna remembered Elena's words, that Igor had never intended to hurt her. He was just afraid of losing Anna, and that everything he did was for Sasha. Slowly, Anna began to understand. This wasn't about infidelity in the usual sense. Igor wasn't seeking pleasure or another love. He was just trying to fulfill his responsibilities as a father. Still, the pain was real. Lies were lies. And Igor had betrayed Anna's trust and denied her the right to know. Anna realized she had to make a decision. She could leave Igor and start a new life. She could also choose to stay with him, pretending nothing had ever happened. But there was one more honest path, trying to understand. Understanding what drove Igor to make that choice. Understanding how he lived with the burden of that secret for years. Anna knew it wouldn't be easy. She had to overcome her pride, her wounds, and her pain. She had to accept that Igor wasn't a perfect man, that he had weaknesses, flaws, and a dark side he had never shown. But if Anna truly wanted to save her family, if her love for Igor still existed, then she had to try. One morning, Anna woke up with a firm decision. She knew what she had to do. She packed her things and drove back to the city. Igor was waiting there. He sat on the sofa with his head bowed, filled with anxiety. When Anna entered, Igor looked up. His eyes were filled with pain and deep hope, and Anna's heart broke. "I know everything," Anna said softly. "I understand." Igor remained silent, waiting. Anna continued. "I've made my decision. I'm staying." Igor stood up, approached her slowly, then hugged her tightly. "Thank you," he whispered hoarsely. "Thank you for everything." Anna pulled away slightly, looking deeply into his eyes. "But that doesn't mean I've forgotten," she said firmly. "It also doesn't mean I've forgiven you. We need to work hard to rebuild trust," Anna said. "We need to learn to live differently." Igor nodded, fully understanding. "I'm ready for anything," he said softly, "as long as you stay by my side." Anna smiled, then said, "Let's go." "Where?" Igor asked, surprised. "To the village," Anna replied. "I want to see them." Igor paused for a moment, then nodded slowly. "All right, let's go." The next morning, Anna and Igor drove to the village. In the trunk of the car, Anna carried a bag of homemade cookies. She had prepared them especially for Elena and Sasha. She wanted to show that she held no grudges, that she was ready to open her heart and accept them as part of Igor's life, and her own. As the car approached Elena's house, Anna's heart began to race. She felt nervous. She didn't know how she would be received, or what to say when they arrived. However, when Elena came out of the house, she immediately smiled softly at Anna. "I knew you would come," Elena said calmly. From behind, Sasha ran over and hid shyly behind his mother's legs. He looked at Anna with great curiosity. "This is Anna," Elena said to her son. "She's Igor's wife." Sasha peeked out from behind his mother's skirt, looked at Anna, then smiled shyly. "Hello," he said softly. Anna returned his smile gently. "Hello, Sasha. I brought something for you." She opened the trunk of the car, took out the prepared bag of cookies, and handed it to Elena. "This is for you both," she said sincerely. "I hope you like it." Elena accepted the bag while thanking her. "Come inside," she said warmly. "I'll put the kettle on." Anna and Igor stepped inside the house, followed by Sasha. They sat together at the dining table, drank tea, and talked about simple things. The weather, the children, life. Nothing important was really discussed, and that was enough. Because their silence and togetherness were already a big first step. Anna felt strange. On one hand, she still harbored a lingering anxiety and discomfort. But on the other hand, she felt relieved. Relieved because she had made a choice. A complicated choice, but a sincere one. She didn't know what the future held, but for now, she chose to stay and try.